Today, 2 years ago, we lost a dear friend and bass player, Justin van Uhm. He decided to step out of life because one of the main struggles a lot of professional musicians face these days, making a basic living out of music. This is a general problem many musicians face, not only jazz, but also pop and classical. We just want to break that taboo and discuss it openly. Because that was one of the things that was difficult for Justin. We never knew it was that deep. Justin graduated his masters on the Conservatory of Maastricht, and even during those times he won the European Jazz Prize for Rising Talent. After graduation, however, it turned out to be really hard as a bass player, even with teaching and playing, to make a living out of it.
The big trouble starts when expectations don't match with reality, which is really a tough one, and it's something we all experience. When you're starting out wanting to be a musician, you just want to be on stage and tour the world and all that awesome stuff. But as you get further and further along, you get hit with all the reality stuff like competition, your own skills, economics, logistics, network. Even in best case scenarios, earning a living from only playing gigs is very hard, especially in the jazz scene, but also in the pop scene. The vast majority of our friends are musicians who operate on various levels and in various scenes. And I can't think of anyone whose only income comes from playing gigs. And I can't think of anyone where we didn't have a conversation about struggling.
So we cannot talk for other people, but what about us, for example? For me, I teach part-time at a government-funded school, and that serves as a very minimum basic income. Besides that, I do have some well-paid gigs, but that's totally not a reliable source at all. I also have an amazing Skype student, Sai Schmidt. We had a blast in the past 2 years. And besides that, I live like a monk. No, that's not true, but I live quite basic. I don't go out shopping that much, out eating fancy desires or sports. It's all pretty basic, but nice.
I myself don't have a regular day job. I have taught at music academies during my studies, and recently in the past year I have substituted a lot as a teacher, but my only steady income is from all of our online stuff and our sales, but it's no income really. It covers the company costs somewhat, but in 3 years, we've maybe paid ourselves a salary once or twice. I get a lot of support from my parents. I can't afford a place of my own, so I'm either at my parents' place or at my girlfriend's. I have applied for normal day jobs, but even that is not very self-evident because my degree is actually too high, so they don't hire me for those positions either. I try to get by as much as I can doing other freelance jobs, be it transcribing, composing, assisting. I even had a small gig as a boom operator. So do we earn something with this YouTube channel?
Yes, we do, a bit. Recently, the past few months, we are in between 400 and 500 euro a month. This is the YouTube advertising, our amazing patrons, thank you, and their shop where we have some books and lesson packs and PDFs we sell, all combined. This might seem as a pretty nice amount, but really with 2 persons it just makes barely enough to cover the costs for the accountant, the website and the obligatory taxes we have to pay. It's basically since a few months break even.
Being a musician is not a fairy tale, it's not some romantic thing. We constantly try to manage our expectations and our goals, and I think that's the best way to deal with this or anything. Which does not mean making bullshit goals or lowering our standards or aspirations. It's just constant evaluation and reevaluation. What do you want? Where are you headed? What would be the consequences of choosing A over B? We only share this to kind of break the taboo. It's not easy to talk about this, but in extreme circumstances, it can lead to depression and all the things that come with it, even taking one's own life. We hope that through this we can open up the conversation and talk about this, which is also something we did with Justin, but we didn't fully realize the impact it had on his life.
Being a professional musician, pop, jazz, classical or otherwise, is not an easy path to take. Important to remember here is that you didn't fail as a human being, even if you can't make a decent living by being a musician. Unfortunately for Justin, this was kind of the same thing, being a human being and a musician. But even when you're talented, there is a difference between being competent and economic relevant. So Justin, thank you for everything, and thank you for this bottle of whiskey. You gave me this a few years back, and I don't think there is a better time than have a glass on you, buddy.